All right, with me now, an actor that you probably recognize and may have asked yourself, where is he now? He's starred in Sandlot, The Big Green, Son-in-Law, several other films and TV shows, and he's got a great new project that he's going working through Kickstarter on, and we're going to try to talk to him about that, and hopefully it'll be something that you want to help him out with. Patrick Renna. Patrick, how are you doing today?
I'm very good.
Thank you for fitting us in, and let's get right to this new project. It's on Kickstarter. Tell us a little bit about this film and what you guys are looking to do.
Well, it's a movie called Bad Roomeis, and it's going to be a fun movie. The script just got finished a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago, and I partnered up with some good friends of mine, the director and co-creator of Reckless Tortuga, and his name is Jason Schnell. He's going to be directing it, and a longtime friend of mine, Tommy Savas, who's an actor, he and I are producing it. And then a fourth friend of ours named Justin Mooney, who has he's a really, really wonderful writer, very funny. So he wrote the script, and we kind of all came up with the story together. And it's about two guys that live together, and they need to find a third roommate. And they choose a beautiful woman for all the wrong reasons, and madness ensues.
Madness ensues. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Give us something that we can kind of compare it to, and what are we in for here?
Well, it's definitely unique, so it's tough to compare it to. But I would say it's a buddy comedy, and it's got some very clever writing, and it's witty, so it's definitely a modern comedy feel, similar to other comedies out there right now. And I guess you could say it has a sort of Judd Apatow feel to those type of movies, and got a good cast. We're actually in the process of casting the lead girl right now, but we have some other friends of ours that are going to be starring in it with us as well.
Sounds great, and it's called Bad Roomies. We're going to link to the Kickstarter page. I just checked it out a little while ago. You guys were a little over $68,000. Your goal was $75 as your baseline, and we only have a couple more days, right?
Yeah, it's as of Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific. It's the gates close.
So you can get on there. They can donate as little as $1, and all sorts of special incentives, so to speak, for donating more. Tell people a little bit about how that works.
Well, basically, we put out different award levels, and at the $10 level, we're going to be doing like weekly updates and kind of a blog while we're filming the movie, so we'll keep everyone posted there. And then at $25, you get a digital download for the movie when it's released, and then it kind of goes up from there. There's some fun Sandlot stuff in there too. I'll sign a baseball at a certain level, and there's some Reckless Tortuga stuff because they're very big on YouTube and gaming and things like that, so they'll do some fun stuff for the higher levels there.
All right, sounds like a really, really cool way to get involved with folks that are really familiar with Kickstarter, and a great way to raise funds to get this project off the ground. And Patrick, how has it been the last several years? I mean, you actually have a very, very long resume. You've been over 25 films, you've been all these different TV shows. I mean, you've been busy. People may not have written, hey, that's you, right? I mean, you're there.
Well, yeah, I've definitely been busy and working a lot and staying busy in the industry out here in LA. It's kind of the plus and the curse, I guess, of doing a movie like Sandlot as your first one. It was basically my first job, and it's hard to top something like that. But it was an amazing experience, and then just been busy ever since. Yeah.
With that role, because that is, you kind of just fell into such a great role, because it's really got to be a fun role. Tell us about the insult scene, because I mean that's all scripted, or are you able to ad-lib some of that? Were they a little improvisation on the set? What's the story behind that?
Well, that's funny because during that scene, there's two insult scenes. So there's the main insult scene, that you play ball like a girl scene, of course, and then there's the scenes where I'm in the batter box as the catcher when we're playing the kind of arch rival team. So the first insult scene, the one that you play ball like a girl, was actually not even written for me. Originally, it was written for Benny, the lead of the movie, And on the day of, the director came to my trailer and said, "Hey, I want you to do this scene. It just makes more sense. You're kind of the protector of the Sandlot. So over to you." So I had to learn all the lines right before the take, and we went out there and shot it, and it turned out great. And the opposing teammate, the opposing team head guy, Will Horniff, he's such a great actor, and he's been doing it for a while too, and we just had a really good time together. And then obviously all the other guys and all their reactions to everything kind of sell the whole scene as a whole. But that was all scripted, that scene. And then the scene where I'm in the batter's box talking trash to the other guys, that really was all improv, but it was the director, David Mickey Evans, during the shooting of the scene with a bullhorn from behind the batter's box would just start yelling out crazy things to me and say this, say this, say this. So it was more improv by him and then me just delivering his concept. I think I threw in a few funny ones of my own, but he just stuck me back there and had every guy come in and just said, "Now tell him that's his sister out there in left field naked." So I first chuckled a little bit every time he would say something, and then I'd do the scene.
I don't think kids spend as much time on the Sandlots as they used to when we were kids, but the movie is timeless because of that, because I think for many of us, we have those memories and, talking trash and those kinds of things, hitting the ball in the neighbor's yard and you can't get your ball back and all those things. That's why the movie has just been immortalized. And did you have a lot of scenes with them? What an incredible cast. I mean, Dennis Leary and Karen Allen, James Earl Jones was on that one. I mean, what a great cast. Any special behind the scenes stories or anything like that we could share?
Well, it's funny because when these guys came on, Karen Allen, Dennis Leary, and James Earl Jones, we were all, some of us were 10, 11, I think I was 12 or 13, and we didn't know much about them. James Earl Jones we all knew because he was the voice of Darth Vader, and there was no, Field of Dreams, things like that. So, but to us, they were just more intimidating because they were the adults, It could have been anyone. It could have been, any old actor, and we would have been just as starstruck because it was just kids for 3 months until these guys showed up. And then only until later did we realize the careers these amazing actors had, But we didn't have a lot of interaction with them either. James Earl Jones filmed that movie in one full day. He was in and out. So there is a scene there's a cut scene that never got used with a bunch of us. We had a scene with him, but they ended up only using the scenes with Benny and Scotty. And that's the only ones that made it in the movie. So we really didn't have many scenes with any of them.
Yeah.
The majority of the guys.
How was that different than you move on to your next couple films? Obviously, you had a big role in The Big Green, and of course, then even Son-in-Law. I mean, at this point, you've done a couple different projects and whatever. I mean, are you getting excited? This is going to really be a big, big career. I mean, what's going through your head as a kid? 'Cause this is pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind. I came off Sandlot, and then I went in to read for Pauly Shore, and I loved Pauly Shore and still do. And he was in there, and he was reading some of the lines with me on the callback, and he was messing around, and I think at one point he came up and started razzing me a little bit during the scene, and I just I improv'd a little and started yelling for my mom, and he started cracking up, and they hired me off that, and that was a great movie to do right after Sandlot, because that was actually the next one I did, because it was that all the other cast, while they were a bit older than me, they were still young, and it was just a great experience to see a different, atmosphere with a bunch of, Tiffany Amber Thiessen was in it, and Carla Gugino, and so it was great for me because they kind of took me under their wing, and there were no other kids, so I just had to hang out with them, and I learned a lot for sure,
Well, then you transition into some different television roles and that kind of thing. Tell us what that was like and kind of how it's been to have all these sort of, one-off appearances in some different shows.
Yeah, I did a bunch of different movies and things like that, but then I think the biggest TV one was X-Files, which that was a great experience. I mean, it's a great show, and the the episode I did kind of became, as far as I can tell, a bit of a favored one, because we had Luke Wilson in it, and it was a really fun one. It was more of a humorous episode than they typically would have. I think the whole show had a kind of humorous feel, but the one I did specifically was very humorous. So that was a great one to go on to, and it had such a fan base and was so widely seen that it was great. And then went in and did a couple episodes on Boston Legal, which was great. I think I was going to actually, it was possible I would be a regular on the show. I heard that David E. Kelley was considering that, but then the show ended, so I missed out on that opportunity. But they were great shows to work on with really talented people, and it's definitely a different experience doing television compared to film. You know, it's a lot more run and gun, and you don't have as much time, and you know, you're on a stage half the time, and it's an interesting experience for sure.
Well, all right, we're getting a little long on time. I want to wrap up and give you a chance again to plug Bad Roomies. That's the Kickstarter project that you guys are working on. And do you have the URL for that? I know we're going to link to it on the website, but just to verbally give it out for the folks that are listening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a URL for it. It's a bit confusing, just the actual the letters. But if you go to Kickstarter and you just search Bad Roomies, it's Kickstarter.com. Put a search in there for Bad Roomies. That'll pop up, and you can see the video we put out. And we also have we did a little web series just messing around. It's kind of a loose prequel to the movie, so you'll get a sort of feel for that too, and that's on the Kickstarter page as well. There's 3 episodes of it.
Well, that's fantastic. We're going to link to that as well. And we wish you luck, my friend. It'd be great. Hopefully we can get a chance to see this movie happen, get a chance to screen and review it for ourselves. It'd be a great experience. I wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you so much for fitting us in as well, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you, Patrick.